These 5 habits not only made me wealthy, they made me more happy, more fulfilled, more inspired, and I'm probably even gonna live longer as a result of some of this stuff. And at least one of these, almost nobody else is talking about. So if you wanna be happy, rich, more fulfilled, and live a long, fruitful life, then stick with me. Let's go.
Joining us is my man, Keala Kanai.
Keala Kanai, he takes entrepreneurs on a journey to grow their business.
So listen, number 5 has probably changed my life in the most remarkable ways in the shortest time possible. I see almost nobody talking about this online, and when you see it, you're probably gonna be pretty blown away. So stick with me until the end, but let's go ahead and start at the top. So number 1 is simply going to the gym. Not probably a very big surprise there, right? But if you go back on my YouTube channel even just a year or so ago, you're probably gonna notice some pretty significant differences between the way that I look then and the way that I look now, embarrassingly enough. So I'm very transparent about the fact that, I really undervalued the importance of going to the gym and staying in shape and these sorts of things. Since I've been doing that over the last couple of years, here's what I'll say. Not only do I feel better because of, what I see looking back at me in the mirror, but I have more energy, more vitality, better cognitive function, better focus, better problem solving skills. And there's real science to this too, by the way. Did you know that when you go to the gym and work out, you increase brain-derived neural factors, which increases cognitive function? So that's not just my opinion or my experience of it. There's actually real science behind this. All right, number 2 is sleep. Now, I came from hustle culture, right? Work, get more done, hustle. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I used to say and do all of those things. And it wasn't until I started to read more about sleep that I started to have a healthy respect for it. And fairly quickly, I wanted to see what its impact on me would be. And so I went out and got this Oura ring so I could measure my sleep effectiveness. Right away, I noticed a direct correlation between my sleep score and how restful a night's sleep that I got and my ability to problem solve, stay focused, have better cognitive function, have more energy, have more vitality, and really be able to last longer at anything that I set my attention to. Last longer, and you know what I'm talking about. So sleep has been critical for me. That means that I am very, very clear about having bookends on either end of my day. When I start work, when I unplug, I want more daily consistency so I can go to sleep at a more regular time, more often. And this has also caused me to want to travel less. I used to travel a lot more for work, and now I turn down a lot of travel opportunities because I want to protect my sleep regularity. All right, number 3 is one of my favorites, and that is business by numbers. When I start to run my business based on the numbers, right away lots of things changed, including predictability, which means more scalability. So right here on the screen, I'm gonna throw up an image of my daily dashboard, which is simply a spreadsheet that I use to have a high-level view on the health of the business. This is the thing that I look at every morning when I first start out my day. But right here, you can see that I can tell what the ad spend was for the day prior, how many customers acquired, so I know right away how much we're paying to acquire each customer. I can see what our front-end revenue is, meaning how much we're earning from acquiring customers as they come through the front door of our business. And I can also see the back-end revenue where customers are coming through and they're buying more stuff from us in the long term. At the bottom of each of those columns, I can see what the totals are as the month is going on. And this means that every day I can look at this overview of the business and I can tell right away, are we on track to hit our goals? As a matter of fact, today I start to see that we were falling behind for our goals for this calendar month. Right on the way, I got on the phone with my director of marketing and I said, hey, I just wanted to go over some stuff with you. Here's what I'm seeing in our dashboard. Are you on top of this? Are you seeing the same thing? He confirmed, yes, I'm seeing the same thing. I said, great. What are you doing about it? What's the plan to turn this around? He said, well, I had a meeting with the team today. Here's what we discovered, and here's what we're going to change going forward. And that adjustment should take a few days, and we should be back on track. So right away, I know that he knows that the issue is there and he's working on solving it. I don't have to go poking and prodding around and seeing what they're doing. I know day to day how the business is performing, and I can let the people within my organization do the things that they do best. All right, number 4 is another habit that has changed my life as a leader in my organization, and that is to cut out all of the ridiculous amount of meetings. I mean, if you've ever worked inside of any sort of sizable corporation before, you've probably started to have meetings about meetings. It's insane how many meetings people want to have. And at one point, my life was drowning in meetings, and I wasn't able to get any meaningful work actually done. And so we instituted what I call the modern meeting guidelines. And here's basically how it works. And you're going to want to hang with me on this because if you're somebody who's in a lot of meetings, this could change your life. So in our modern meeting guidelines, here are some of the rules. When you want to have a meeting, you must complete a modern meeting request form. There are only two types of meetings. They're for conflict or collaboration. Conflict means that, well, I'm about to make a decision, or a decision needs to be made, and it's going to impact other people, and I want to meet with a few people and figure out, what's maybe potentially the best decision that can be made. A collaboration meeting means that a decision has already been made, and now we're just meeting to collaborate about how to execute on that decision. If we're meeting in terms of conflict, there is only one decision maker responsible on that meeting, meaning one person must make the decision ultimately, and the rest of us there, we're okay. We're there to share our opinions, to give our feedback, and we're also willing to basically disagree and commit if that's what it comes to. Meaning that even if we don't necessarily agree with the decision that's made, we're going to fully commit to it. So when somebody fills out a modern meeting request form, they have to clearly tell us, is this for collaboration or conflict? Next, they must attach all of the relevant KPIs and data that is necessary in order to make a quality decision on that meeting. And it is up to everybody else who is going to attend that meeting to go through all that information before coming to the meeting, so that we don't waste 20 minutes talking about stuff just to get everybody on the same page and then start actually doing some decision making. So you must come fully informed about the contents of the meeting. That's one of the guidelines. Number 3 is, if you are invited to the meeting and you don't absolutely feel like you have value to add to that meeting, then it is your job, it is your duty and responsibility to decline the meeting and not attend. Because contrary to popular belief, the more people that you have on the meeting, the lower the quality of the decision that is ultimately made. So we want to have as few people as possible so that we can spend as little time as possible and get the highest quality decision. The more people they have on a meeting, the longer it takes to reach a crappier outcome. And so once we instituted modern meetings, changed my life and the life of all of my key executives. All right, finally, number 5, and this one has easily changed my life the fastest, and I hardly see anybody talking about this, and that is having a customized health protocol. So here's what I mean by that. About a year ago now, I was introduced to a company called Biohacks. When I was introduced to them, I jumped on a video conference call with a nurse. The nurse began to ask me questions about what was I experiencing, on a regular day-to-day basis. All sorts of questions and everything you could think of, and ultimately trying to find out what did I most want to get out of maybe potentially working with their organization. As an entrepreneur, I straight up told her, basically, I want to be able to crush it in the boardroom and the bedroom. Yeah, I said that. Okay, maybe I'm too transparent at times. I don't know. And so right away she said, listen, I think that we've got something that could really work out for you. A few days later, there was a phlebotomist that was at my house taking 16 vials of blood to do a blood panel. That blood was then run through multiple tests, and a few days later, I was on a call with the doctor going through all of my blood work. We looked at my immune system, my digestive system, my red blood cells, my white blood cells, my hormones, and a host of other things. And pretty quickly, I could see, why I was struggling in some of the areas that I was struggling, like why sometimes at night it would take me a while to fall asleep, and why, sometimes at night I would, wake repeatedly throughout the night and not get a full night's rest. Sometimes I would wake up groggy, as an example. Sometimes I didn't have the same, energy throughout the day as I did on other days, and all sorts of stuff. And all of that was easily spelled out once we were able to look at some objective data about what my body was saying about where I was at physically. And so this turned into a customized health protocol that consists of some supplements that I take orally and some injectable peptides that I also take. So on any given day, I'm taking, several different pills and supplements, and I may take anywhere from 1 to as much as 5 or 6 injections throughout the day. Literally, poking myself with a needle and injecting some of these peptides and other supplements into my system to, jumpstart the system. Now, here's what I found. Within 90 days, I saw probably the most radical change of anything else that I have tried in the past. I mean, right away, I started to see that I was losing weight faster. I was building more muscle. I was able to fall asleep at night quicker. I stayed asleep. I woke up more energized. I had better cognitive function. I had better focus. And a lot of these other things that I mentioned before. And so it all really starts to come together, but really, really quickly. Now, for transparency, I will say that I spend about $10,000 every 90 days or so on working with biohacks. Not necessarily the most affordable thing, but here's the good news. There are other more financially feasible options out there. So one example is 10X Health Systems. I have some friends that have started working with them. That is one of Grant Cardone's companies, if you know who that is. And so they've worked with 10X Health Systems. They seem to be a bit more affordable. Also, I've talked to a few friends now that have been able to find, being able to talk to their regular physician or a local physician who's willing to go out and at least order a blood panel for them so they can get some blood tests, and then they can sit with that physician, they can go through those results so they can at least get a better comprehension of what's happening within their bodies. So I used to be one of those people that, would notice symptoms and I'd read articles online, or I'd see some sort of an advertisement and I would self-diagnose and I'd buy supplements and be taking all sorts of things thinking that those are what I needed. But in reality, once I saw that objective data of blood work, which included hormones and digestive information and immune system information, all these things, right away it became very clear, black and white, here's what you need, here's what you don't. And my life has been radically changed as a result. And wherever you're at personally, if you can get your hands on some of this customized health protocols that are out there, like I said, do some research. There's several options out there. Strongly, strongly, strongly recommend it. Nothing has changed my life faster. If you are watching this video right now, I hope that you got value out of it, my friend. And if you're somebody who is committed to creating more success in your life and your business, then make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification so you get notified every week when I drop more content like this. And in case you've never met before, my name is Cal Kanai. I'm an entrepreneur that started while working in a coffee shop like this just a few short years ago, and I've gone on now to build multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses. And the only reason I say that is so that you know that everything that I share on my channel comes from real world applied knowledge of the things that have helped me create these results, which I share here in hopes that they help you create similar results as well. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification so you get notified every week when I drop more content like this, and make sure that you watch that next video that's about to pop up in the lineup, sharing more habits of things that have changed my life. And I will see you there. Take care.